I read a recent article about how raiding, detaining and deporting illegal migrants from the UK is not the better solution to the government. Over 80 charity groups have argued that the UK current approach on immigration raids, detention, deportation of undocumented migrants is causing the country more harm than it's causing it good. And these charity groups did not just criticize or raise these concerning alarms. They also came up with what they think is a better solution to the government and to every single person. I was like, what? Just imagine people living in fears every single day, watching their shoulders and wondering if today is just the last day they are going to be caught and sent back home. This is the reality for thousands and many people in the country. But these charity groups are now saying that it's time for a simpler and much compassionate approach. So yeah, stay tuned if this video interests you. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Fatima Ali. Please consider subscribing if you have not subscribed yet to my channel. Like this video if you find value in it, and leave your comments in the comment section. The current situation in the country is in such that the government has ramped its immigration raids, targeting illegal employment, detaining and deporting undocumented migrants. In one recent week, about 275 places were raided and about 85 undocumented workers were detained. One thing the government do not realize is that the more they raid these workplaces, like the more they run away. Immigration raids is in such that they don't give you a heads up before they come. Okay, they just appear unexpected. Okay, so when they find that you are working illegally, then you are in trouble. That's when they detain you and you are eventually sent back home. And the employer in question is also in trouble because the employer is fined. Do you understand? So when people get this information, they will run. They run instead of them coming up or going back home because of the challenges and the discomfort in the country. They rather run. They run way deep into the country. They go to where they will never find them. These charity groups are now saying that that is not the better solution because for years governments have tried the same thing and it's not working. It's not just about putting out policies and trying your best. It's about actually testing things and seeing how they work. And yeah, it's okay that this particular approach is being tested. Why don't we do a different thing? And that is what these charity organizations are saying. Do you understand? And once we progress in the video, we are going to look at what better policies, what better options do they have? Do they think that is going to help the UK government and everybody? And they believe that is going to help the undocumented migrants, the illegal migrants as well. Now, this is the charity standpoint. Over 80 charities, including major organizations like Migrants' Voice, Anti-Slavery International, are arguing that this heavy-handed tactics of the UK is not going to solve the problem. Instead, it's going to force these undocumented migrants to be vulnerable and to exploitation by employers, and it's going to force them into criminal gangs. Now, just take it for example, if you are being driven underground because they are chasing you, they are trying to catch you, and you don't also want to go back, you become more vulnerable. And there are some organizations that deliberately take advantage of vulnerable people because it's cheap labor. Do you understand? They take advantage of them, they employ them, and they pay them meagre salary, meagre wages. You have not solved the problem, but then you have pushed them into vulnerability, into exploitation by employers. And I personally believe that it's going to get to a time that employers will not even want to employ cheap labor, want to employ these people, because when they are being caught, the employers are also in trouble, and that is when they are pushed into criminal gangs. If I cannot get a decent job, there is a black market, there is a criminal gang that I can go there and even get a much better life if I'm not caught. You see, that is the effect of this, and that is what the article is saying. So rather than race, these charity groups are calling for a simpler path to legal status for these migrants. They believe that many of these undocumented migrants have lived in this country for many years, if not even decades. They have both their families, they have both homes, they have careers. Now imagine wanting these people to leave the country and going back home with the mind that they are never going to come back. That they are leaving their home behind, they are leaving their families behind, and their careers behind. That is what these guys are saying. And they also believe that most often than not, most of these undocumented migrants become illegal because of maybe simple mistakes, simple errors, because of language barrier or miscommunication. And because of this simple stuff, they have become illegal migrants. And that is why adopting policies that is going to be a win-win to the government and to the undocumented migrants should be considered. A letter from these charity groups highlights that regularization of undocumented migrants will not only cost less than detention and deportation, but also is going to boost the UK economy. What do you think about that? To some extent, I feel it makes sense. Let me open my window. It's too hot. To some extent, I personally feel like it makes sense, because now it's going to cost to send out officials to raid shops. It's going to cost accommodation for detention, flight fare for deportation. That is all cost, and it's taxpayers' money, and it's costing the economy. Rather, regularizing their stay, they are already in the country, they'll be able to work fully, they'll be able to contribute to the economy, they'll be able to pay their taxes, they'll be able to work without the constant shadow of deportation. And whether you like it or not, if these illegal migrants were doing what you want, then they will not be in this country in the first place. I believe they contribute to housing issues, they contribute to all the crises that the UK is facing. Perhaps most of them don't even pay taxes. They are not allowed to pay, because of course they are not allowed to pay. How do they pay taxes when you are not even allowed? You pay tax and they are going to catch you. Do you understand? So, I don't know. Personally, I feel to some extent, maybe 50% it makes sense. I believe that it might make sense to somebody else. Now, let me know whether this article makes sense to you. Do you think that the government regularizing the stay of undocumented migrants, illegal migrants, would be a better thing for the country than continuing with this immigration race, detention and deportation? What do you think? Because as you know, mass race and mass deportation has never been an answer. Many governments have tried it, and there's still the issue of illegal migration in the country. So if you can solve the illegal migrants issue who are already in the country, then you can focus with strict strategies to those who are yet to come into the country. Like the article says, some of them have lost their legal rights because of simple mistakes. And because they've both so much in the country, they are afraid to go back. I listened to an interview on STV News. They interviewed a lady from Nigeria in Scotland. And according to the lady, her experience, she flew here to seek asylum with her case. And her experience with immigration was confusing and dehumanizing. She simply believes that it's like immigration was against her. And because she has literally traded everything she had back home before she came here, she cannot go back, because she will literally go back to nothing. So she pleaded to the government that immigration should treat people that come here to seek for support, to seek for protection, with dignity, with human sense. It's just high time that they look at some of these things. When I read the article, I was baffled. I was like, I've not actually seen any organization, anyone talk about this. Like, my mind has not even gone there. But come to think of it, it's sounding not too bad in my ears. What do you think the real solution is going to be? Because people are in crisis, not just we migrants in the UK, even natives are also struggling. Some of them are struggling because of many factors like housing, NHS, etc. So if some of these things can be done, then it will go a long way to help. Now let me know what you think in the comment section. I thought to bring this to your notice. I hope it's helpful. And now I'm going to do my shopping. Once again, my name is Fatma Ali. If you're watching me for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.